was a complete search for a white whale.
Pulled over and questioned.
The passcode, that 8-digit code that people plug into the phone, and we want to search through your phones.
Demands from investigators to hand over a passcode so they can see what's inside.
Cell phones provide, in some cases, pretty pivotal evidence.
Do the court, police, and investigators have the authority to search your phone? We're going 360, and we're making sure you know your rights.
A simple traffic stop and a man now being ordered to hand over his cell phone passcode.
But one man refused because he felt police were trying to incriminate him. And he ended up in jail because of it.
Tonight, Denver7's Jace Larson is going 360.
The story begins when police arrested William Montanez, a Florida man who didn't use his blinker. Well, then officers in Florida smelled pot.
He said, yes, I smoke marijuana. There's marijuana in the vehicle.
Williams' attorney says on scene a text message popped up on one of his two phones. OMG, did they find it? It made police very interested in what else was on his phone.
Went to a judge and they got a search warrant. They showed up at my client's house days later and said, we demand that you give up the passcodes to these phones.
Is that a yes or a no?
It's a no, Your Honor.
He flat out refused.
Take him into custody.
Then a judge threw him in jail for 44 days. And William Montanez became the poster boy for privacy.
I think the judge was completely wrong.
So just what are your rights to your own passcode? Tonight, we're going 360 on this issue. Here, Williams' lawyer argued the judge acted illegally. Then a civil rights lawyer who says this case is the tip of the iceberg. And the perspective of a local prosecutor who tells us what he thinks he'd do with a cell phone. And then you can hear the thoughts of this former police officer. So what do you think? What would you do? It's time to go 360 on password or prison.
It was a complete fishing expedition.
This attorney's take, what police and a judge did, was completely out of line.
There's no probable cause to suggest that just because you have a misdemeanor amount of marijuana on your possession, that there's evidence of a crime in a cell phone.
After 44 days in jail, an appeals court ordered Williams released. Williams' lawyer says making him tell police his passcode would be him giving up evidence on himself, admitting that his phone was his.
And then if there's information on that cell phone that would incriminate me, then I've just been ordered by the court to violate my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, not to offer information that would incriminate me.
Do you believe it's just a matter of time before this happens in Colorado?
This is civil rights attorney David Lane.
Oh, absolutely, positively. This is the death of privacy in the digital age. This is forced self-incrimination.
He says the public can tell police to go get a warrant if police officers ask to search someone's phone or give up a passcode. And he thinks that's something that will give Colorado judges pause.
Would we do that here?
District Attorney George Brockler says he probably wouldn't demand a passcode.
I think it's incredibly unlikely. That's just not Colorado. That's just not how we've done business in the past. And as long as we have another vehicle to get that information, which is by going to the court and getting a search warrant and then turning it over to the experts in technology, I don't need to go down that road.
Today, private companies are able to hack nearly every cell phone using their own technology. Police can make you, though, give up your finger or open your phone with your face, just like they can legally take your mugshot or fingerprints. The difference there, though, is you're not forced to say anything.
Well, one, I think cell phones provide, in some cases, pretty pivotal evidence, not just of guilt, but in some cases of innocence.
I think it's more valuable than being able to search someone's house or computer.
Former cop turned college professor Stacey Hervey says the reason why Williams ended up here in the first place, courts haven't definitively ruled.
I think it's an issue where legal precedent really isn't keeping up with what police officers are trying to do in technology.
The final ruling, experts say, will likely come down to a Supreme Court decision. So what's your take on all of this? Should people be forced to give up their passcodes? We're chatting about it right now, and I'd love to hear your view on my Facebook page. Just search Jace Larson.
Very interesting. Just in the last hour, a woman was hit and killed riding her bicycle in Denver off Marion Parkway and Bayard Avenue. The woman was taken to the hospital where she died. The driver was cited for careless driving, resulting in death.
And new tonight, a victim in this fiery and deadly crash on I-70 in Lakewood back in April is now suing the truck driver and the trucking company. 4 people tragically lost their lives after that semi-truck going around 75 miles an hour slammed into a traffic backup. Truck driver Rogel Lázaro Aguilera Mederos blames faulty brakes for the crash. He's facing vehicular homicide charges. We spoke with Leslie Ross, the woman now suing, just days after the crash. She works at Red Rocks Community College. She got stuck in traffic that day, and she says she was talking to her daughter on the phone when all of a sudden she was hit. Listen to how she described those next moments when we talked to her from her hospital bed.
I just didn't know what was happening. I'm lucky when I turned the TV on today, and when I saw that how fast that semi came, and that's how fast he hit me at 80, 90 miles an hour, and I was just scared.
Ross obviously suffered injuries to her face. She also broke her arm in the crash.
The community has spoken, and it looks like Columbine High School will stay the way it is. The results from the Jeffco School Survey were released today in a 60-40 split. More people voted against the idea to demolish the school and rebuild. The reason the district wanted to even consider this, because the grim fascination with the 1999 tragedy that occasionally prompts safety concerns.
What really makes the community is the people. And but it's a very, very special place. I go there most every year. My father, I'll go with him, and he'll place a flower, a rose, where Rachel was killed. When I go there, it's a place of remembering. It reinvigorates my passion to make a difference in schools all across the country.
So the school now says it will focus on making the school safer, and Superintendent Jason Glass says he does appreciate the community's response.
It was emotional and complicated, and it's going to remain so. I mean, we're going to be this is going to remain an emotional and complicated question going forward. And I'm just really appreciative of the way people treated each other.
The school district has $15 million set aside to renovate Columbine High School, and those renovations are already underway.
In Douglas County, 5 middle schools will be getting new school resource officers this fall. They include Crest Hill, Mountain Ridge, Ranch View, Rocky Heights, and Sagewood. In the wake of May's shooting at STEM School in Highlands Ranch, the Douglas County Commissioners approved $3 million to hire additional officers to help keep our kids safe. And come this fall, residents of Aurora may be asked to cough up extra money to help pay for mental health services. The city would hike the sales tax by 1/4%, and that money would be used to fund services like suicide prevention and substance abuse treatment, not just for kids, but also for veterans.
7 hours of questioning today in the Robert Mueller case in front of the American people about the president, his election campaign, and Russia. And the big question today, did Mueller exonerate the president? Well, the answer, no. Can the president be charged after leaving office? Well, Mueller says yes. Did the president commit a crime? Mueller refused to say and instead referred Congress to his 448-page report.
Could you charge the president with a crime after he left office? Yes. You believe that you could charge the president of the United States with obstruction of justice after he left office? Yes.
During testimony, Mueller declined or deferred a question more than 200 times. He gave 176 one-word answers, including yes, no, true, and correct. And on at least 43 occasions, he told people to look up information in his report. Now, the hearings are being spun by both sides to their advantage. President Trump called Democrats clear losers and said the hearings were a waste of time, and specifically said Mueller did, and this is a quote, a horrible job. Several Democratic presidential candidates called today's testimony a chance to build a case for impeachment, although House Speaker Nancy Pelosi indicated she's still not ready to start that process.
A woman has been cited for criminal tampering for her involvement in the ICE protests outside Aurora's detention center a few weeks ago. Police believe she was among those who removed a U.S. flag and replaced it with a Mexican flag, and also hoisted anti-police flags outside the Aurora ICE facility. Hundreds of people rallied outside that facility in the wake of the Trump administration's planned immigration raids.
The Greeley Company will have to pay more than $200,000 for drilling in Weld County on federally owned land without a lease or permit. The Bureau of Land Management says Mineral Resources was caught drilling the well back in 2012, but just today, the BLM and company reached a settlement.
Caught in the act, and tonight, a local police department is launching a new way to help nab these criminals faster.
I think people want to help us.
Ooh,
it was a hot one out there today. A cold front is moving in for tomorrow. Let you know what that means as far as temperatures and thunderstorms.
And hundreds of tiny spacecraft will be sent to the moon. How Colorado students are behind this miniature mission to space.
Next on Denver7.
People are working longer now. I'm 71 years old, and I don't plan on quitting anytime soon. I enjoy working. I'm going to be on my feet, trying to get new customers and building my business. When I walked into the Good Feet store, I said my feet hurt. And they says, well, let's see if we can do something about that. What a difference now with these arch supports. And I like what I'm doing, and from now on, my feet aren't going to stop me. My name is Val, and that's my Good Feet story.
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
When you see a story from one angle, it seems clear what's going on. See it from another, the whole story changes. Denver7, let's go 360.
Shifting soil, wet and dry, time, they take a toll on your home's foundation. If you see little problems now, don't wait for them to get bigger. Call Rod Martin's Complete Basement Systems today for a fix that makes your home safe and solid again.
It's the grand opening sale at Carpet Exchange, where we guarantee the lowest price, period. More color, more choices, and now a new Carpet Exchange location in Longmont. Get grand opening savings on everything for your floor. Soft, luxurious carpet, just 88 cents a square foot. 3/4 solid hardwood, $2.99. Save big on Portec waterproof flooring. Area rugs half off. And granite countertops, $35 installed. Get grand opening savings at all our stores. Carpet Exchange, your floor store.
Lease the all-wheel drive Infiniti QX50 for $379 a month. Plus, get a special summer bonus at your local Infiniti retailer.
Don't miss the Cheeseman Park Art Fest. Shop the works of 150 artists and craftsmen from across the nation while enjoying live music, food trucks, a beer garden, and fun for the whole family.
They're brazen thieves. And these are just a few of the people we have inducted into our Porch Pirate Hall of Shame.
Tonight, Fort Collins police are launching a program to map a network of people's front porch cameras in the hopes it helps them solve crimes faster.
Denver7's Ivan Rodriguez went to see how it works.
Helping solve crimes is only part of the puzzle. Police say they can actually also use the security cameras to corroborate a person's story. They can see exactly where they are at a certain place and time to see if their story fits. I think people want to help us. In fact, people are routinely contacting us after an incident, letting us know they have video. So all we're doing now is really just getting that information beforehand. Fort Collins Police Chief Jeff Swoboda is asking people to register their home or business cameras to create a network and help build a safer community. And if something happens in your area, we'd like to contact you to see if your video caught the incident. The chief says their database would map who has a camera, but they would not have access to the video without permission. The amount of things that it can be used for are really endless.
I think it's a good thing. We just want to make sure that our neighborhood and our house is safe.
Deborah Tucker recently installed security cameras in her home. She and several others we spoke with say they would be in favor of registering their cameras.
If it helps the police department with keeping us secure, I'm fine with that.
Deborah says many homes and businesses have cameras already and thinks it's a smart idea for police to map where they're located.
I think everywhere you go, you're probably on film or somehow being on camera for security reasons. So if you think that you're probably on film, you probably are. So other neighborhoods, houses, businesses, wherever you're going, it's probably the case nowadays.
Ivan Rodriguez, Denver7.
The City of Denver wants to revamp a stretch of Santa Fe in the Art District between 8th Avenue and Colfax. Now, there is concern the sidewalks are too narrow, the vehicle traffic too heavy for all the activities in that area, and there's talk about adding now protected bike lanes and pedestrian space. So the city is testing out a plan, and they'd like to hear your thoughts about it. Next week, during the First Friday Art Walk, the city will bring in artificial plants and tables to create a pedestrian platform.
Contact 7 is getting results for people in Aurora who are having trouble getting their mail. For almost 2 months now, people living in the Pride's Crossing neighborhood have not had their mail delivered. after vandals took a pry bar to their neighborhood delivery boxes. Instead, people are forced to go to the post office every day to pick up their mail.
You get so used to walking across the street to get your mail, and all of a sudden you got to get in the car and pack a lunch to go up and get it, stand in line for 3 days. Just isn't right.
Well, we reached out to the Postal Service today, and they understand why residents are upset. And as soon as we started asking questions, they promised to send a repair crew and apologized for the delay.
500 tiny spacecrafts will be sent to the moon by 2023, and the people behind them are not from NASA.
And we mean tiny. These spacecrafts are being built by students right here in Colorado and across the country. These small Lunasats, as they're being called, are about the size of a leaf. They will have tiny sensors on them that will be launched into space and land on the moon's surface.
Now, the goal is to have those sensors collect data about the moon's surface to be studied and help future visits from astronauts. The Colorado Space Grant Consortium, based at CU Boulder, is leading the effort.
Apollo was very inspirational for a lot of people of, say, my generation who saw the moon landing happen. And we wanted to create the same thing for students of today, but with the chance for them to not only just watch it happen, but actually be involved in it happening.
So listen, any high school or college student can participate in this. There'll be an application process this December for a student to get the tools to build one of these Lunasats.
Thank goodness for these smart kids.
No kidding. I think the trouble would be to find an astronaut small enough to fly in those little things.
That's a good point, but that's a whole other story, yes. Let's talk about our weather, Mike.
Okay, well, today was a little bit more cloud cover, a few more storms around, but still managed to stay dry enough in the Denver area for whatever festivities are going on there at City Park. And it looks like quite a few tents and everything going on in the foreground. And then the lights come up, and they're showing movies and all kinds of cool stuff. Meanwhile, it was a little more of a rainy pattern on our Viero camera down in Elizabeth this afternoon, and I think that's more what we're going to see by tomorrow afternoon. A lot more shower activity in our forecast future. So, starting out your day tomorrow, partly cloudy, 67 at 7 a.m. Won't be quite as sunny as we've had in recent mornings. 77 by 11 a.m., 83.